All right, so everything I predicted that was going to happen is happening. At this bottom, nobody believed that we were going to turn and go back up. Um, I was the only one trying to convince people that the market was going to have a regression event. It had gotten stretched too far below the 200-day moving average, and we'd need a bounce. More than likely, it would be a bear market rally. Nobody believed that. As it turns out, I was right again, like I always am. I was right here, just like I was right here, just like I was right here, and so forth, all the way back. Every one of these intermediate cycle lows, I'm the only one that has the foresight to see that an intermediate rally is unfolding, and based on how far price had stretched below the 200-day moving average, I warned people that it was going to be bigger than what most people expected, and that everybody would get bullish, and nobody would believe that we were still in a bear market, and that is exactly what's happening. And now nobody believes. Everybody thinks I'm wrong, that we're going to get another move down. I think we probably have another move down in a lower low, but either way, I think we have to at least retest these lows. I suspect we're going to make a lower low, but I think we have to at least retest these lows, and we've done exactly what I predicted was going to happen. We've turned everybody bearish. This rally has rallied much further than everyone expected. All the people that looked like they were a genius, shorting all the way down. I said that those people would get burnt by the rally. They did. The rally's gone much higher than any of those people were expecting, so they've lost almost all of the gains that they made during the move down. But I think we're setting up for some kind of a mini crash event, and also markets don't generally just from a extremely stretched position, whether it be to the upside or the downside, they don't generally just go back to the mean and then resume their move back up. And by that, like you can see, we had an extreme stretch to the downside here. Now this was a 4-year cycle low. This is not a 4-year cycle low, which makes me think that we probably do have further to go. And you can see this extreme stretch to the upside here. It caused an extreme move to the downside, went back below the mean, and then that powered this huge move, along with a lot of QE and 0% interest rates. But that powered this huge move far, far above the 200 week. This is a weekly chart, so far above the 200 week moving average. I really doubt that all we're going to get is a move back down that doesn't even tag this 200-week moving average, and then we're off to the races again. I think that is probably unlikely. I think ultimately this is probably a 4-year cycle top, and once we get everybody bullish here, then we'll turn and go back down. And before this is over, I think we'll have to go below this 200-week moving average to some extent, like we did here, before we can get another leg up. And I think because the 3-year cycle low in the commodity complex is going to be due here in the spring of 23, I think this 4-year cycle in the stock market is probably going to shorten a little bit, and we'll get our 4-year cycle low here in the spring of 23 instead of all the way out to 24. But I think this bear market rally is going to do exactly what I predicted. It's going to get everybody bullish. Nobody will be able to pull the trigger on the short side. And then we'll start the next leg down. We're probably setting up for some kind of a mini crash event here pretty soon, because we're just stretching this daily cycle too far. It's gotten too mature. When cycles extremely right translate, then they have to pack all of the daily cycle decline into a very short period of time, and that very often produces some kind of a crash or mini crash event. And I think that's probably what we're setting up for here in the stock market. So everything is playing out exactly as I said it was. All the people that didn't believe the market could go higher when I tried to tell them it would, they were wrong here at the bottom. Now, as I'm warning people that, that we're probably not done here and that we'll have to make another leg down, nobody will believe me, because now they're convinced that the market can't go back down again. So they'll get caught here at the top just like they got caught at the bottom, just like happens at all of these major turns. So not trying to call a top today, but you're going to be close enough anywhere in here. You're going to be close enough, because we're going to have some kind of a crash event, and it's probably going to come down and at the very least retest this bottom here. And I think probably is going to have to ultimately, by the spring of 23, we're going to have to go probably quite a ways below this 200-week moving average. And we also got a problem here in that this was the yearly cycle low for 2021, and we broke below that. That is not a good sign. That usually means that the 4-year cycle low is in progress. If you get a lower yearly cycle low, it usually means that you're now in the declining phase of the 4-year cycle. So I seriously doubt that this is going to come up and break this intermediate top, which is the only thing that would change my mind and convince me that the 4-year cycle is still advancing. It would have to come up and break this intermediate high, make a higher high, before I would become convinced that this is a more lasting bottom. I doubt that's going to happen.